Hello everybody, welcome. I'm Noah02, and thank you for watching this video. Keeping in line with our previous deck videos, right, the one and done, this gave us the tools to solo clutch and beat acts 1 through 3, right? One deck that can fit into all 3 acts and give us enough tools to be the hero of the team if we need to. Same thing with the support deck, but we can be a support on acts 1 through 3, and this melee deck for acts 1 through 3. Similar to the support deck, and different from the one and done deck here, we're not really going to have all of the tools necessary to be that hero, right? We don't have the use speed for the field cannon. We don't have the grenade damage to kill the bosses at the end of Act 2. Sort of taking the step back from being the person who can do everything and fulfilling a more specific role. For those of you who like to be support or be melee, these decks will allow you to do that, but in all acts 1 through 3, one deck to rule them all, sort of thing. Now you might be looking at this deck list already and recognizing that there's some potentially weird things going on here. There's no meth head. There's not a whole lot of extra melee damage. We have second chance in here. Berserker on card 14. Face your fears is in the middle of the deck. Mark for death? What's going on here? Let me tell you, I have done some math. I have played this deck for about 10 hours. About 10 hours of gameplay. And I made the point of not using Holly or Evangelo to playtest this deck. This deck will work with any of the cleaners on these 3 acts comfortably. But this is not a brain dead melee deck. This is not a stand by the door, close your eyes, and just hold down the swing your sword button, right? There's a little bit of technique here, a little bit of ebb and flow, some things that we need to compensate to buy us time to get cards up and going and things like that before we can finally get to numb and be like, alright, we did it. We have all the tools necessary to do the thing. This melee deck is not about killing mutations. This is not a deck to kill mutations. This deck is about killing zombies. This deck is about giving your team health, saving your team ammo, and being on the forefront of taking damage, helping consolidate medicine into you, keeping the rest of your team nice and healthy. That's the point. I will make the argument that Vanguard is the best melee card. It's the best melee card. It's the primary reason why to run melee. And because I feel that way, it's card number 3. The other thing I need to say, though, is when it comes to playing any sort of deck that requires 3 or 4 or 5 cards, just to get your idea up and running, other examples would be like some sort of admin reload, power swap, 2 is 1, 1 is none, sort of like those sort of decks, or sniper decks where you need like 4 or 5 different damage cards, and those decks I would call slow. Any slow deck, any deck that needs 3 or 4 or 5 cards to get going are going to feel really weak at the start of Act 1. And so this melee deck is going to struggle at the beginning of Act 1 if you start at Resurgence. Just because we just don't have a lot of cards going on here, it's a very slow build-up. Because we're sort of cutting corners just to get Vanguard going early. So for Act 1, we have Hazard Pay and Grenade Pouch for Resurgence. Same foundation. Nothing is going to give you more reliability, more consistency than having an extra grenade slot and the money to buy 2 grenades. So we're pushing back Vanguard just because this is just... I'm convinced that Hazard Pay, Grenade Pouch are the best 2 cards to have at the start of your deck. And if you know how to play without the movement speed, or are playing Evangelo, then double Grenade Pouch is obviously double the good than Grenade Pouch. But essentially, money and extra grenades, that's the 2 best things you can do at the start of any mission for the start of any deck. So we're just going to keep it here. Consistency is good. And then we pick up Vanguard going into Blood Tunnel. Do not underestimate Vanguard. If you know how to not get hit by zombies while using a melee weapon, Vanguard will generate you plenty of health, generate your team plenty of health, and if your team lets you be the person in front killing the random zombies that wander the map, your team can be healthy for the entire map. Honestly, the hardest part of playing a melee deck in quick play is your teammates, because they want to run around and shoot zombies. Can't blame them for that, but meta-wise, efficiency-wise, right? The most optimal thing that they can do is let you kill the zombies and stand close to you. They don't always do that, or pretty rarely do they let you do that. But nonetheless, we must soldier on with our sword in hand. So don't underestimate Vanguard. This is tons of temporary health, the whole entire map of temporary health if your team will let you do it. And then we just pick up cross trainers and superior cardio, going into the crossing. For Act 2, Act 1 and Act 2 pretty much always look the same at the start because your first 5 cards are dedicated to Hazard Pay, Grenade Pouch, and then just building up into having enough movement speed or stamina so that you can do the crossing or handyman comfortably. We're actually squeezing in Vanguard here, under the pretense that we're going to be playing with our teammates, holding doors, holding off the horde, and giving the team extra health. For Act 3, the first 5 cards are further afield, and it's just an open map, so having the extra stamina doesn't hurt, anything like that. It's totally fine. Act 3, there's actually not a lot of cards here specifically for Act 3, at least not till the end. But I would like to talk about Meth Head here, and the lack of it. I did some math. Here, and when it comes to stamina efficiency, right, we might think, oh man, like I really need Meth Head so that I can swing my sword more, or my baseball bat more. Interestingly enough, right, if we really were to do the math on what is 30% stamina efficiency, the machete costs 10 stamina to swing. 30% efficiency means that it costs 7 stamina to swing. We go from being able to swing the machete 10 times with 100% stamina to 14 times. 100% stamina. Is that the right number? Is that the 14 times 7 equals 98? Yeah. 14 times, right? If we have cross trainers and superior cardio, we have a max stamina of 140. If we swing a machete for 10 stamina at a time, that's 14 swings. Now, stamina efficiency is way better on the baseball bat. You go from being able to swing the baseball bat from like whatever 6 times to 9 times. And I don't think you quite achieve that with the extra 140. The extra 140 actually only gives you 2 more swings, so you go from 6 to 8 as opposed to 6 to 9. But Method takes away our ability to aim down sights. And though the extra attack speed is nice, the extra attack speed is sort of a double-edged sword in that the faster you attack, the more opportunity there is for you to miss swing and just waste stamina for no reason. Not only that, Cross Trainers gives us the ability to move faster. Superior Cardio gives us the ability to sprint further. And they both give us 5 points of health. If we're planning on being the person who is in front, being the tank, the extra maximum health will help us get more take advantage of our temporary health more often. Our larger health pool will mean that being traumatized out, not as big of a deal, will take more time, and if we get full health with temporary health, then we still take advantage of the total maximum health pool that we've gained. So essentially here, what I'm trying to say is, between cross trainers and superior cardio, we sort of recreate the stamina efficiency that Meth Head gives us, but we get the added benefits of more sprintability and survivability with the 10 points of health. Kind of neat, right? Next up is Batter Up and Slugger. And what do you get first? What do you get first? Batter Up or Slugger? What should be in card 6 here? Batter Up or Slugger? This was what I took so much time figuring this out. And I've come to the conclusion that Batter Up is better than Slugger. If we're already recreating Meth Head with cross trainers and superior cardio, I feel like the extra stamina efficiency not a big deal in the long run here, and the melee attack speed not a big deal. What's interesting about Batter Up is that, again, if we do some math, Batter Up also helps us save stamina. Batter Up allows us to hit some critical thresholds as far as dealing damage, allowing us to comfortably one-shot zombies without a headshot. That's important to note, right? If we're getting headshots, then killing these zombies with one hit, no problem. But if you run into exploder zombies, or if there's zombies like jumping down off of something or running up and over something, right? They sort of change their elevation. All those little nuanced moments where you might swing and miss a headshot. If you hit their body, you only do about half their health. Or you do most of their health and damage, but they're still alive. Then it takes a second swing. So you want to know what the most stamina efficient thing that we can do? It's to guarantee that we one-shot zombies. It's better to kill a zombie with one hit than two. That's the most stamina efficient thing that you can do. And Batter Up allows us to do that really, really, really nicely. If you have a gray machete with Batter Up, you can one-shot ferocious zombies. Baseline zombies have 20 points of health, ferocious zombies have 25, and monstrous zombies have 30 points of health in nightmare mode. With the baseball bat and the machete, you sort of just are always just underneath those thresholds to some extent. And if we were to run spiky bits, we would still be under some of those thresholds. Spiky bits puts us just below having enough damage to get to the next threshold. Batter Up gives us just enough to get over it. So with a gray machete, you can one-shot zombies up to ferocious, up to 25 points of health. If you get a green machete, you can one-shot monstrous zombies. That's right, green machete, and you one-shot monstrous zombies. So convenient, super duper nice. It'll save you stamina in the long run. For all those times that you make a little mistake, the zombie still dies anyways. For the baseball bat, Batter Up is even more critical because the vanilla baseball bat will need Batter Up in order to one-shot baseline zombies. It gives you just enough damage to get over that 20 health point threshold. If you get a green bat, you have just enough damage to get over the 25 point threshold with Batter Up. Green bat, Batter Up, just barely get ferocious zombies, and then with a blue bat, you just barely get over the 30 points of health threshold. Super duper convenient. Trust me on this one. The ability to just one-shot zombies no matter where you hit them will save you stamina. It's super nice. You don't have to worry about missing their head. And I find that this ended up saving more stamina than Slugger. Now, up until this point, we have avoided, for the most part, melee attack speed. Like I said, this is not your brain dead melee deck. You can't just stand there and swing your sword around and be fine, right? Because the swing speed is not super duper fast. It's slow enough that if you're swinging your machete, there is enough time, right? There's enough time that a zombie can sort of get in between the swing and hit you. Melee attack speed helps reduce that opportunity for a zombie to come in and get you. But we're putting it off for quite some time here. Because all you have to do is walk forward and walk backwards. An ebb and flow. If you sort of learn this ability to sort of step forward, slice zombies, step back, slice zombies, that zombie that's sprinting towards you, who's going to get in range while you're in between swings, if you're stepping away from him, you buy yourself enough time to ready your melee attack, and once you're ready, you step forward, get that guy, step back again, and forward and back and forth. You do this ebb and flow. If you do this ebb and flow and practice it and get good at it, you'll avoid taking damage from zombies, and you actually won't need extra melee attack speed. We still pick up Slugger, though, because Excuse me. We still pick up Slugger, though, because it's still quite convenient to be able to swing faster. And the extra stamina efficiency. Now that we have a larger stamina pool in general, we get more swings in general. The stamina efficiency now triggers more often because we have a larger stamina pool in general. Extra melee speed, so that as we're doing that ebb and flow, our margin for error gets smaller. Right? That's what melee attack speed is doing. Your margin for error as far as taking damage during a horde event gets smaller the more melee attack speed that you have. And now the other reason why I love Slugger here over Brazen and Meth Head is extra 5 points of health. At this point, we have an extra 20 points of health. More survivability, more room for trauma, more room for our temporary health to just maximize. Do you like it? Kind of neat? I think this is so neat. So neat. Now we're picking up Face Your Fears. We're just solidifying now the survivability. And then we're picking up Numb. And sort of like with stacking damage and stacking support cards, there's nothing particular here as far as the acts go. As far as the campaigns are concerned, these cards really don't have any relevance as far as the missions that we're choosing or playing in. We just need to get our Wombo combo set up and ready to go. The nice thing, though, about this is that at card 8 for Act 3, as well as for Act 1. Act 1 is Barroom Blitz, and then card 8 for Act 3 is T5. Or not, sorry, not T5. Is the Garden Party. Those are both two maps where there's a lot of potential for splash damage. Two maps where you're going to be the hero. You get the shine, right? On Barroom Blitz, you're picking a doorway or you're at the jukebox and you're swinging away and you're holding down the front line, right? On Garden Party, you're in the maze and you're leading the way. And having Face Your Fears is going to help guarantee that you're able to lead the way all the way. You know what I mean? And then we pick up Numb on 9. This is T5 for Act 3, so we just maximize our survivability in the least amount of cards possible. And we're good to go. Act 2, this is the Clog. Nothing particular here, just getting our Wombo combo set up and good to go. And for Act 1, this is Special Delivery. Nothing special. We're now just extra tanky. For the most part now, we're switching gears a little bit here. This is still melee related in a sense, but more team supporty. Amped up for 10. Amped up for 10 on Act 1. Not a big deal. It's Act 1, card 10 is the Diner. And for the most part, the Diner doesn't trigger Amped Up, only triggers Amped Up once. Though on our way to the Diner, Amped Up will trigger multiple times, so Amped Up is always good. Amped Up is universally good and comfortable to pick on pretty much any map. But what's nice about having Amped Up for us as a melee character is that sometimes if your teammates are too slow or if bad things aren't happening, in order for us to keep healing and be nice and strong as a melee character is that we need to keep fighting. And sometimes if there's a lull period, a slow period between hordes, your temporary health is bleeding away. Well, when the next horde is triggered, we sort of compensate for that loss by having Amped Up. And if more teammates have Amped Up, you'll be super good to go. And Amped Up would basically give you a nice cushion of temporary health going into the horde, allowing you to hopefully sustain that temporary health throughout the entire fight and keep your actual health intact, and thus you end up losing no trauma or suffering no trauma. Amped Up on Act 2, though, is Broken Bird, and Broken Bird has the ability to trigger Amped Up infinitely. If your team is struggling to get to one of those crates and hook it up, then the helicopter will keep calling in hordes. But each time that horde is triggered, Amped Up will trigger. So in theory, so long as your team has enough ammo, You, in theory, have infinite health on Broken Bird with Amped Up, so long as you're not taking damage for free. So kind of cool that we were able to pick it up here just in time for that. And then Amped Up on Act 3 is a friend in need. Nothing special about that map, but of course Amped Up triggers multiple times per map anyways, so great. Great, great, great. But this is most important for Act 2. Card 11 for Act 1 is Bad Seeds, and it's marked for death. We're giving our team 10% damage boost now, basically, right? Bad Seeds is pretty open until you get to the farm. Once you get to the farm and get your team inside a shack or whatever, and then start popping the nodes, that's when you're going to excel. But on your approach to the farm, it's just big and open. You'll be running around killing zombies. That'll be your job. But if your mutation shows up, you really, 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 really want your teammates to be able to save their grenades and flashbangs. So if you can Mark of Death one of the tall boys and give your team the ability to kill the tall boy without using a grenade, then that's going to be really critical for the node for the nest holdout at the end of Bad Seeds. Another thing too to mention here though is we don't have meth head. We can still aim down sights. So in fact, what if you ran a sniper rifle with this deck? Sniper rifle for mutations. Oh, a horde has been triggered. Let me pull up my melee weapon. I'll go stand by the door. Now we're out in the open doing our thing. Bunch of random zombies scattered around. I'm not really going to do much about it. I'll just pull up my sniper rifle, right? We now have the ability to actually take advantage of Marked for Death conveniently with our team if there's no zombies around for us to deal with anyways. Or if we're not in a horde event, right? Kind of neat. You can run any primary weapon that you want with this deck. Marked for Death for Act 2 is Heralds of the Worm. Now, all of a sudden, team damage, the ability to kill bosses quickly becomes super duper relevant, so giving our team an extra 10% damage boost here, really, really convenient. And for Act 3, card 11 is Making the Grade, which has a guaranteed ogre on it, so again, team bonus damage, super duper nice. Right now, at this point, we're giving our team health, we're saving our team ammo, we're absorbing damage for our team, and we're still giving our team extra health with Amped Up, extra damage for the team as well. Super cool. We're covering so many bases with this deck. Now we pick up Fanny Pack. On the same lines of Amped Up, where if things are going too slowly and you need like a little pick-me-up before a horde goes, or if you're in the middle of a horde event or getting hit by a tall boy in the middle of a horde event, having the ability to quickly switch to some pain pills to pop them off so that you can continue to be the person in front absorbing damage. Really, really, really nice. And we're going to double that ability now. We're going to have 2 pain pills. Haha! 2 pain pills. Essentially, 2 hits from a tall boy now that we can suffer, plus hopefully extra temporary health from killing zombies, things like that. So Fanny Pack will give you just more survivability. Extra Pockets is universally good anyways, though. Because this card 12 is Hell's Bells on Act 1. And if it's gonna get super chaotic in that church, it always does. So just having the ability to basically be the person taking damage, running around, killing zombies, doing whatever, even absorbing a hit from a tall boy, to keep buying time for your actual damage dealer to kill the tall boy, things like that. Having an extra set of pain pills will allow you to do that twice as long, basically. For Heroes of the Worm Part 2, nothing in particular, same thing for Hell's Bells, just more survivability just in general. For Act 3, this is Road to Hell. And again, just more survivability, allowing you to hopefully lead the way at the end of Road to Hell, at the triple gate run to the safe room. What's going to be really nice about Fanny Pack, though, is that when you get the body dump, and if your team needs to break away, or you're going solo, or whatever's happening, you'll have more than enough health, for the most part, to keep yourself sustained through that fight. Now, Second Chance. This might look a little weird, but this is to help guarantee that we can always be in the fight for our team, even if we don't have a mom with us. Even if we don't have a mom. What's really important about having an extra life as a melee character is Vanguard. Because, if you think about it, in most circumstances, when we go down as the melee character, where are we standing? Most likely we're standing in a doorway, right? Some sort of threshold. And if we go down and have an extra life, we get to keep swinging our axe or our sword or whatever, right? We get to keep swinging our melee weapon. And as you're killing zombies while downed, Vanguard still triggers. You can still fulfill the same exact role of the melee character while downed now. Extra lives are super duper critical, I think, for the melee character. We're sort of hoping that we have a mom on our team. Otherwise, we're sort of just pushing it back because there's other valuable things to get before it, I think. And the reason why we're picking it up on card 13 is because Act 1, this is Abandoned. Abandoned is a super long map. You have to fight your way through the gas station, fight your way through the infested house, fight your way through the second house, and then fight your way up the abandoned mine shaft through a infinite horde. There is tons and tons and tons of zombies to kill on this map. Abandoned is a map of attrition. So being able to go down and keep yourself in the fight and keep sustaining your teammates and keep saving ammo and keep absorbing some damage will be critical on Abandoned. And being able to do that potentially twice if you have a bomb or one extra time or whatever, really convenient. Plus an extra 5 points of health. More survivability, more room for Vanguard. On Act 2, in a very similar sense, holding that door on grave danger for Act 2 is a pain in the butt for a melee character. It's a real pain in the butt. It's a big door, lots of mutations, and of course once the breakers show up, you might just get insta down if you're not paying attention. What's cool about this is that once the breakers show up and your teammates are grenade dumping the door or doing whatever, if you happen to die or go down and you're still in front of the door, at the very least you continue to keep zombies out so that your team in this oh crap moment can at the very least focus on the breakers or the mutations that have gotten inside. So again, second chance, the extra life, sort of clutch in these super hard critical missions, and those critical moments on these hard missions. This extra life will allow you to basically keep holding the door and to keep accomplishing what your melee deck is supposed to do, which is keep your team healthy. For Act 3, though, don't get second life. Don't pick up second life for body dump. Because body dump is like the worst map in the game, I think, for melee. I was even playing around with this idea of like having firecrackers and throwing them on the ground, because body dump is so open that you can't get a nice clump of zombies together. The zombies are just running around everywhere and coming and rising out of the water and crawling out of goop, and you just can't really chain comfortably together a bunch of zombies because you have to like run to one zombie and then run away over here, and it's really hard to keep your team safe. So I would say skip second chance. Better to pick up fire in the hole right away. Just because all the T5 grenades trigger fire in the hole. So at the very least, you can be like the T5 grenade person. So instead of covering an area with your machete, you go find the T5 grenades, you pick them up, you throw them at a critical sort of choke point area, keep back the zombies and things like that, and etc. For Act 3 again, you can also get Berserker. The extra movement speed will help you basically cover more distance. So you'll run over here, kill 2 or 3 zombies, trigger Berserker, sprint over here, kill a couple more zombies, allowing you to cover basically more space. Because the big issue for melee on body dump is just there's no choke points for us to take advantage of. So Berserker and Fire in the Hole sort of be more relevant for us on this map. And then I would say, at the most part, you can pick up Second Chance once it's the very last card in your deck, because 5 health is 5 health, but beyond that, Second Chance is mostly for Act 1 and Act 2. Card 14 is Rolling Thunder in Act 1, though. Similar to the idea that I was talking about on Body Dump, Berserker will give us the ability to basically patrol a little area. Your job as the melee character is to make sure that there's no zombies attacking the person loading the field cannon. So you can just basically sort of dance back and forth, or dance from one side to the other of the field cannon, essentially. Zombies over here, you slash them up. Berserker triggers, sprint over to this side, you slash them up. And you're basically just covering a little area now with Berserker. And even if you're not sprinting, the movement speed still helps you move faster, allowing you to basically patrol, like puppy dog guard the field cannon. For Act 2, not a big deal. If your teammates are, I don't know, flashbanging the Berserker, then sure, maybe you can get in there and... Or not the Breaker. Sure, you can get in there and slash it up a little bit, but we don't really do that much damage with our melee weapon. And then just Fire in the Hole in general is a nice card to have. We only have 2 extra grenades here, but extra 40 points of temporary health sitting in our offensive slot is also quite convenient as well. Essentially now we have 3, with Fire in the Hole and 2 grenades, it's essentially like we have 3 support slots because that's an extra 120 health. Either way, this is the deck. What do you guys think? Kind of neat, right? We recreate Meth Head with 2 different cards. We have 10, 20, 25 points of extra health in this deck. I like this deck. The other, I can't remember if I mentioned this already. The biggest issue with this deck is one, having teammates that will actually let us kill things so that we can trigger our stuff. But 2, the other issue is that you sort of do need to learn and practice that ebb and flow that I was talking about. Stepping forward, killing zombies. Stepping backwards to buy yourself enough time so that you can, like, ready your weapon again, right? Basically, it's your fire rate of your melee weapon. Stepping backwards will buy you enough time for your melee weapon to reload, essentially. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. Please let me know what you guys think of this deck, because I feel like there's potentially groundbreaking melee concepts in this deck. So let me know what you think. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the future.